Because a lot of people say that you're an AJ hater.
Fury's been beat. They're both sort of now has-beens.
He calls himself the King Cobra.
Could you imagine how big that would be, you versus Andrew Tate?
I think it's a one-round job.
Would you put your money where your mouth is and call him right now?
Jake Paul, probably want 10 million quid. Totally irrelevant, I am on it.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Clubhouse Boxing. I'm Charlotte Daly, I'm your host alongside Spencer Oliver, and today we have the Cobra, Mr. Cobra Froch, in the house. And if you didn't know, he boxed in front of 80,000 fans at Wembley, but he absolutely hates talking about it, don't you, Carl?
You got it in nice and early. I was going to warm into that, and then you dropped the big number out straight away. You forgot that four-time world champ, Hall of Famer. You missed that, but...
Do you know what? I was almost going to let you do your own introduction because it just can't compare.
No, you've done well. You've done well. I'm happy with that.
You like being referred to as the Cobra as well, don't you?
I don't mind the Cobra, yeah. It's like my alter ego. But Spencer, what a career he had until he had that unfortunate injury. I used to watch him when I was a kid. How old are you?
50.
50. So he's only 2 years older than me, but I didn't turn pro till I was 25. Spencer, the Omen, I used to love watching him fight. He was like ferocious, fast-paced, fast hands, brave, stand in range and have a tear up, like proper fighter.
That's it, I'm done, I'm gone.
This
Cheers,
is the
mate.
nicest thing you've said to him all day. I thought you brought up the age because you were telling him he needed Botox about 5 minutes ago.
No, his face looks like an old leather chamois. But I wasn't going to go there. I can advise you a good beauty therapist. But a lot of people watch Spencer and think he's a good boxing pundit. He knows his boxing, which he does, but they don't realise that his career was drawn to a halt early, unfortunately by a bad injury. And he's still here to tell us about it, which is great. But top fighter, Spencer.
Starting to think you're the VIP guest here now.
I was actually going to start digging into him, but I'm going to leave it now.
Yeah, now you feel bad,
He's been very nice, mate. He's got out of the right side of the bed.
It's all part of the plan, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's coming later.
He's done me, yeah. Yeah, he was one of the greatest fighters that we've ever produced, mate.
Yeah, no,
all right, okay, you two, stop. I mean, honestly. Look, we've had this date in the diary for a while, but at the start of the week, I was starting to get a little bit worried that you were going to be whisked off onto a plane to Miami to step in against Jake Paul for...
You know what? Like I said, my phone won't be ringing, and you know, you get a lot of idiots saying, "Oh, Froch is begging for the fight. He's desperate for it." I don't want to fight again. 48 years old. I'm in a good place. The last thing I want to be doing is going in the ring and sparring, missing with shots and damaging my elbows and getting punched in the face. It's done. Nice straight nose now. I don't know if you know. A decent job. I don't want to be getting my head punched in. But you know, Jake Paul's fighting nobodies. Everybody knows the story about Jake Paul. He's got a good model. He makes money. He knows. He's sort of manipulating and sort of, for me, he's conning people into thinking it is a fighter. And Gervonta Davis' fights fell through. They need a replacement. My phone don't ring, but I'm not.
Would you step in though? Like I know you keep yourself in great shape.
Against Jake Paul, probably.
But you don't box anymore now, do you?
No, I don't.
So like you was known for your teak toughness.
Absolutely.
And you've probably become a little bit soft now because you've got a few quid and like you know
civilised,
what I mean?
yeah.
So take that toughness away, and you've got a young kid coming through. Is it something that would you want to put your legacy on the line against that?
I'd risk it against Jake Paul.
Do you think you'd do it?
It's all about risk reward.
Do you think you'd do?
100%. You might disagree. And you
no,
might
I wouldn't. I can't go against a Cobra, would I? No way. But I'm just like, you know, I just go like, with what you built up, you know, and what you achieved in the sport, you go like, would you want to put all that on the line? You got enough money anyway.
You know, when I look at Jake Paul, I just think he is so bad. Like, he's so bad at boxing.
You say he's so bad at boxing. Break it down though. Fundamentally, what do you think are his strengths, if you think he has any, and his weaknesses?
His strengths are probably his fitness and his age. Because he's young, he's in the gym a lot, he's fit. He's probably, I don't know how strong he is. I don't know if he's taking any performance enhancing supplements, shall we say. I'm not sure, but I don't know how regulated the Misfits or the, what is he in? Is it
professional boxing.
I think he boxes done professional boxing now.
How many professional
But
fighters?
he's under the California state or something like that.
What's his professional boxing record?
He's
10-1?
No, it's 0-1.
No, it's not.
It is. Because he's only had one professional boxing match.
I don't think he has, mate.
Against Tommy Fury. Well, you can't class all the other boxers as professional boxers.
No, I get that. But I think that he went under that.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Like Nevada State or something like that, is it?
So basically, Jake Paul's in a clown world, and he puts on a clown show every time he fights. So when he fights an actual professional, like Tommy Fury, who's at best British level, he gets beat. So to jump in with someone like me, 48-year-old retired veteran, Hall of Famer, he wouldn't have a chance.
What would it take to get you out of retirement though? Like, is it just about how much?
If I was going to jump in with Jake Paul, I'd probably want 10 million quid.
Yeah.
Because that's a nice figure where you can say, right, it's going to probably change a few. Wouldn't change my life much, but it'd be enough to do. I've got plans for that. So, but to be honest, I can't be arsed.
With Jake, because it's MVP, it's Netflix, he wants all of those things. He'd probably be asking to be the A side. He'd want it in whatever location he wanted. What would be the exact terms you'd want? Would you want it in the UK? Would you want to be the A side? You know, do your ring walk second? Would those things be fundamental for you?
Listen, first and foremost, I'm a retired Hall of Famer. So I've been retired over 11 years. I've got no intention of fighting in professional boxing at all. I'm irrelevant in the professional boxing world. Yeah, irrelevant, totally irrelevant. I am on it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight Canelo Alvarez or Terence Crawford or any of the current super middleweight champions. I know Benavidez has just gone up to light heavyweight. I couldn't fight in any of them. 12 3-minute rounds against elite level, but I couldn't do it at 37 anymore, so I'm not going to be able to do it at 48. But the Jake Paul fight is not a professional boxing match. It's a clown show. It's an exhibition, or it's clown world. It's not real. So, and because of my name in terms of boxing, I'm no longer relevant in boxing. So I'm not a fighter anymore. I'm not a YouTuber. I want to be like Jake Paul. He's my hero. So, Jake Paul's the A side. Jake Paul can get to say where it is. If he wants to fight in wherever he wants to fight, and he wants to on Netflix, and he wants it over in America, then he gets to choose everything, because he's the main guy in this. I've got to be honest. He's the main guy in it. But to get me out of retirement, to get me in the ring with him, I now want paying well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But he's got no intention of fighting me. I'm not deluded enough to think that he would ever fight me. And like people say when I go out on my channel and say Jake Paul, you know, won't fight me, won't be calling him. People say, oh look, he's desperate for the fight. He's begging for the fight. He needs the money. Trust me, I don't need the money. I think you can verify that.
Yeah, I can.
He's seen some of my accounts.
I have actually.
Like,
funny story actually.
It's not about money. It's about shutting up this idiot that's took on a 60-year-old Mike Tyson, and he's took on professional boxers that are well past the best, well finished, and he's telling everyone, I'm a professional fighter, you're not.
With that though, they're trying to rearrange his fight now for December. So if the money was right, and if they gave you that 10 million you wanted, would you do December?
I'd jump in with Jake Paul at such short notice, because in my head, maybe I'm wrong, you might tell me I'm wrong, I just think it's so easy.
So you're serious?
When I watch Jake Paul fight, fundamentally, he does so much wrong. His balance, his offence, his poor jab, his chin in the air, the way he moves, the way he telegraphs everything. I think it's a one-round job. So yes, I'd do it on short notice. I just think it's a mismatch.
Would you put your money where your mouth is and call him right now?
Jake Paul?
Yeah.
Why, you got his number? I ain't got his number.
Really?
Yeah, I definitely haven't got Jake Paul's number.
Would you do it then?
I don't want it either. What, give him a ring?
Would you give him a message down the camera then?
Listen, Jake Paul is not worth me trying to look like I want the fight, because this is the misconception. Oh, Froch is begging for the fight. Froch needs the money. No, Jake Paul talks bollocks, pretends to be a professional fighter, and I step in and say, listen, you can't box, and it winds him up.
I brought you up on a Zoom call with him the other day, and we were talking about your opinion on him and your opinion on the Tank fight when it was happening. And he started talking about what he does for boxing, and he said that he's saved boxing. I've got a clip that I'm going to show you. And
it's stuff like that probably winds up real ex-fighters like me, or current fighters, because he's not saving boxing, he's taking away from it, I think.
Yeah.
And there's an argument that he brings a new audience, but it's not an audience that's going to follow proper professional boxing.
He's definitely brought a new audience, but he's not saved boxing at all.
Yeah, but do his fans watch real boxing?
No.
There you go.
Take a listen.
At the end of the day, a lot of people say things in this sport, and that's why for so many years it was dying. I came in, put my money where my mouth is every single time, back everything up, make big moments, fights happen, agree to fight in any condition.
See, what he does there is very good. It's like well marketed and well managed, because he says stuff that's like clickbaity, and he says stuff to wind people up. I never get wound up. I'm too connected to my resonate. I resonate on certain frequencies where I don't get wound up. And what he's doing there is very good. You've got to give him credit.
He's a marketing genius.
He knows how to upset people. His team know how to get inside the sort of to sell the fight. Yeah, they're just bullshitters, and anybody who's in the professional world looks at Jake Paul as a clown. Is there anybody in the professional world that doesn't look at Jake Paul as a clown?
I think that...
Does anybody give him any respect?
I think anybody in the professional world wants to fight Jake Paul, because they want to put an end to it. Yeah, no, but also because, right, if you put it... Where would you rank Jake Paul in level. So we're going from Southern area to British, Commonwealth, European, World champions. Where would you rank him? Does he win a British?
No, I don't think he wins a British title.
Yeah.
In the professional world. Well, he lost to Tommy Fury, who's never won a British title.
Yeah, talking of Tommy Fury and talking of money, Jake also said that Tommy is asking, he started at 5 million, went to 7, went to 8, went to 10. He now wants 15 million for the rematch. Do you think Tommy's mad for that?
No, because if the money's there, he wants his fair share of it. If the fight doesn't happen without Tommy, then he wants his share. Do you know what I mean?
How comes you only went in at 10 then? Because the money is there.
Because 10 million's 10 million, isn't it? I've got something that I could do with 10 million at the minute, just with the deal that I've got through with this property thing I've got, which I don't want to go into too much. But if I got 10 million, I could just put this to bed and move on to my next project. And I think, yeah, that tidies that up. Go in there, spank Jake Paul really easy on a week's notice, and that ties that up. Then I'm on to my next deal. If I start saying I want 50 million or 20 million, it's not realistic. I think 10 million is achievable. And I think Tommy Fury, to answer your question, 15 million. If Jake Paul's going to earn 30 or 40 million, why shouldn't Tommy earn 15? So it's fair. Yeah.
Look, enough about Jake Paul. We've spent enough time on him.
Thank you.
Another talking point that's been quite interesting this week, which I feel like has gone under the radar a little bit, is Andrew Tate taking over Misfits, kicking out KSI and becoming the new CEO and fighting on a Misfits card in December. What do you make of Andrew Tate being the new CEO?
I don't know what it means, him being the CEO of Misfits. I mean, I've met Mams Taylor. I was sat next to KSI a couple of weeks ago at the Till Rockhold fight, when Till started losing the plot, and I nearly launched my apple at him, but it was a juicy apple, so I kept it to myself.
Yep.
But what do I make of it? I'm not sure what to make of Andrew Tate, actually. I can understand him being the CEO of an organisation that's doing well and making money, because Misfits does okay, business-wise. The model's pretty good. But Jake Paul fighting, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure that's like good for his brand. Him getting punched in the face or struggling or maybe getting beat, and he'll tell you, listen, I'll take risks, I'll put it all on.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate. He'll says I'll take risks and I'll risk everything just to show everybody that I'm a risk taker and I don't care if I get beat, but I'm not going to get beat. You know, I'm a top G and I'm going to beat anyone who put me. But who's he fighting? Like nobody I've heard of.
Could you imagine how big that would be, you versus Andrew Tate?
Do you think it'd be big?
I think it would. I think it'd be very big, mate.
Potentially. Another mismatch. No disrespect to Andrew Tate, 4-time kickboxing world champ. But I'm surprised he's doing this fight, if he does this fight, because I don't think it goes well with his brand.
Don't you think it's a great space, though, for like someone like yourself who's built up the legacy that you have with these guys that are coming in that are so influential and they've chosen boxing as the umbrella to monetize whatever they want to do. It's a great space for people like yourself to go in there. Like you say, like, you know, you're going, I don't know, did you get 10 million quid for Froch, for gross? I'm not sure if you did. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that sort of money, and that was a real fight. But I'm saying the money that's in it now. I spoke to Roy Jones about this actually, and he said, you know what? He thinks this is a great space, like with the YouTubers coming in and doing what they're doing. He goes, because it gives a chance like him, like you, ex-fighters that didn't earn the money back in the day for these real hard fights. When you look for your career, Jermaine Taylor, Jean Pascal, and all those guys.
Quick, easy book.
That's exactly what he said. And it's a great space, though. So it's a great opportunity for the older fighters.
Potentially.
But then it would be Andrew Tate. He calls himself the King Cobra, and you're the Cobra.
The Cobra, innit?
I feel like the Cobra's got to be settled. Like, which one's it going to be? Is he the King Cobra or are you the King? Which one?
Let's see what Cobra Tate does on December whenever he's fighting, whoever he's fighting. Let's see what he looks like.
Are you happy for him to take that name, by the way?
I don't mind that. Listen, if we ever fought, me and Andrew Tate, then the winner would take the name, wouldn't they? We'd have to have that in the contract.
There you go.
If one of the Cobras loses to the other Cobra, then you've got to relinquish the Cobra title. but there's only one Cobra.
Nice.
Look, another thing is obviously Anthony Joshua at the moment is all over the headlines for potentially teaming up with Usyk's people. Do you think that's a good move for him at this point in his career? I mean, since Rob McCracken, he's kind of rattled through a few different trainers. Do you think a move to Team Usyk would be beneficial?
So AJ's going to go and train with the coaches at the Usyk.
Yeah, so he's already actually been out there. He's done some S&C work with Usyk's team, which has happened, and there's rumours going around that he might actually now move fully over to them.
I can't say that's a bad move because Usyk's team are fantastic. Look at what they've produced. I know Usyk's the talent and he's the Olympic star and now he's the world star, but he's obviously got a fantastic team around him because he's always in shape, he's always fit. got a great diet, he looks well, he's clean living. So for any fighter, including AJ, to go over to that team, it's got to be a positive. But
what's he trying to rediscover though, Cole, by going over what do you see as the missing elements from AJ at the moment? Is it like the psychological damage, the physicality seems to still be there? Like what is it? What is he trying to rediscover?
A lot of people might think this is controversial or think, okay, he's Rob McCracken's man because he trained me. But the biggest mistake Anthony Joshua made was leaving Rob McCracken. Rob McCracken guided him from an amateur nobody to an amateur champion, amateur star, Olympic champion. Then he took him from that to world honours. Climbed off the floor against Klitschko to win in a fantastic fight at Wembley Stadium. 79,000 people there that night. Nearly caught the record, didn't he? But what a great career he had. And Rob McCracken was guiding him correctly and trying to just plant the path. And AJ didn't listen to him. And then he left him. And then look where he is now. Mentally distraught, physically getting old now, got no confidence. He's on about fighting on undercard. I don't think there's a way back for Anthony Joshua. I'd like to see him bow out now gracefully.
But you said there about Rob McCracken. You're obviously close to him. Where was the breakdown there? Because before one of the Usyk fights, there was talk of the fact that he wasn't doing the runs in the morning, didn't want to do the sparring, things like that. Was it a breakdown in a relationship, or do you think it was AJ just falling out of love with the training side of things?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I wouldn't want to comment or speculate, and I wouldn't want to say certain things that I know out of respect for AJ's old team and Rob McCracken, but you've said it yourself there, he didn't want to run, he didn't want to spar, didn't want to do the training, because you've heard that through the gym rats or through the grapevine, wherever you've heard that, then I'd take that as being correct information. And once that starts happening and you stop listening to your trainer, then that's it, you're not going to be able to perform at your optimum level. I mean, if you've lost respect for your trainer, imagine Daniel LaRusso walking in and saying to Mr. Miyagi, why am I painting this fence? Why? It's painting the fence to learn how to defend. You've got to listen to your coach with no question. You've got to fully believe in everything he says. When he says jump, it's not why, it's how high. Yes, sir. That's what it's got to be.
It's the trust thing. It's the trust thing because obviously you are putting your life in.
So maybe the trust and the respect finished.
Yeah.
And that's why AJ's left.
Where are you on the AJ situation? There's a lot of people say that you're an AJ hater. That you've got it in for AJ, that you slag him off that he's finished. Where are you on that?
Yeah, well, that's nonsense.
Yeah.
Not an AJ hater. What he's done for boxing was brilliant. What he did for the sport in general is fantastic. To become a heavyweight champ and fill not just 1, 2, 3, 4 stadiums up and down the country and bring so many new faces and young kids into boxing, you've got to give him his credit, man. I've got nothing but admiration and respect for him. But when I talk about him getting ironed out by Daniel Dubois and beat up twice by Usyk, which is no disgrace, but he got beat up twice. And then, who else has battered him? Andy Ruiz. I mean, you've got to say, listen, this guy ain't really at the races at top world elite level. He never has been. So...
Can he win a world title?
You can argue, I don't think so, no. Unless somebody's around that's fading. He's going to beat Usyk, no. But
no, but titles are going to fragment, aren't they? And that's what I'm saying. Do you think that there's an opportunity there for where he gets... But there's a lot of good fighters out there
He's
now
going to beat Daniel Dubois. He's going to beat Moses Atalma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who's he going to beat for a world title? Depends who's around. But at the minute, AJ's well past his best. Mentally and psychologically, he's not even in the same room as these elite level fighters, these hungry fighters. And I don't blame him. He's made enough money now to just say, you know what, I've had a great career. I've done what I've done for the sport. My legacy might be questionable, because it is. Because he's been El-Sparkoed a few times. Because he has.
You made a comment a minute ago that I found quite interesting. You said about you have to listen to everything your trainer says, and obviously I completely agree with that. But with AJ, it almost feels like now he needs too much instruction. So if you watch him during his fights, he's always looking to the corner and almost... It's like he doesn't trust his own thought process to think his way through the fight. He listens to instruction almost too much. There was that classic clip of roll the dice. He did it and then he got knocked out. Do you think he has that self-doubt that he no longer fights on instinct, that he needs too much direction?
Since the Ruiz knockout, yeah. Since the Ruiz knockout, he's lost loads of belief. I mean, I've never been knocked out, so I don't know what it's like to try and come back from a knockout. And I'm not saying that like I've not been knocked out. I've been put down, and I've been hurt, and I've been like shaken badly. But it's just automatic what happens. It's like you're on autopilot, and it's what comes from within, subconscious, the self-belief, the belief in your corner work when you go and sit down in the corner for that minute, conversation with your coach, right, what am I doing? What do I need to do? Where have I gone wrong? And then you come out in round 2 or round 3 and you make it work. I think since AJ got badly hurt by Andy Ruiz, I know he got him in the rematch, but in the rematch he just ran and held and kept out of the way and sort of nicked the decision. So that did nothing for his confidence. And then
it's the psychological damage that can be done. Some fighters just get on with it, get up, and then they crack on. And other fighters, AJ's always been a thinker, an overthinker in many ways. As he's, you know, from when he started boxing, he's always been that guy that asks questions, travels around, trains at different gyms. But when you have that psychological damage of being knocked out, and then you lose what was probably his main strength, which was that rawness, that fighting with his heart on his sleeve. If you don't want to commit, and Cole, you know, he's the ultimate guy for that. If you don't want to commit and you start half thinking about what you're doing instead of doing it instinctively, that's when we get problems, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to believe in yourself. And he's lost self-belief from that first loss. And he came back and got the rematch. And then he had a few sort of easy touches. But as soon as he jumped in with somebody who actually wanted to win and wanted to be in there, he's lost every one of them fights where he's not on top. He's an on-top fighter now. Yeah. So I think that's why Eddie's saying we need to rebuild him. He's going to stick him on an undercard and then try and build him back up. But at his age and where he's been and the money he's got, I don't know where he's going to get the desire for that.
Do you think the Fury fight happens? And if it does, do you think he's got the capability of beating him?
I'd love to answer that, but you're not conducting an interview. Go on, shoot.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I was going to say.
There you go.
Do you like the Benn bit there? Shoot.
Yeah.
Do you think the Fury fight will happen, and how do you think that will
Fury fight will happen if Fury decides to come out of retirement and say, I want Anthony Joshua, because the general public will want to see that and they'll love it. But for me, I'm not asked about it.
You're not asked about watching it?
I'm not asked. I'll watch it, but I'm like, this fight doesn't mean anything. You've got two guys who have been beat by Usyk. Neither of them have got a world title. They're both sort of now has-beens. I know AJ's still active, but what's he done? Like, you look at his last 5 fights and have a look at the results and look at where, you know what I mean, where he's been done and beat up and knocked out, and you say, right, okay, so that's a guy who's pretty much finished at the end of his career. And then you've got Fury, who's not fat because he's not out of shape. He usually goes fat in between fights, so he looks like he's still keeping his finger on the pulse. But Fury's been beat.
Don't you think commercially it's like still the biggest fight in boxing?
Listen, it's a massive fight commercially, of course it is. But in terms of professional boxing and interest to the boxing purist, are you bothered about seeing Tyson Fury take on Anthony Joshua for nothing but revenue? Are you bothered? Like, you're going to watch it, but you're not going to get excited. You're not going to say this is Mike Tyson fighting. Evander Holyfield. What a fight.
I think when you're looking at the heavyweight division, though, you go like, if that fight gets made, you go, yeah, it might be five years past its best, and there won't be the belts that were on the line that were originally going to be there, which takes that stigma away from it. But you still look at it and go, I'd like to see it. Just from like a modern, you know, when you're talking about modern eras and people, if we don't get that fight, don't you think there'll be something missing?
I might be old-fashioned, mate, but it don't mean anything to me.
Yeah,
it don't mean anything to me.
No, listen, it's a fair opinion.
There's no world title on the line. There's nobody's unbeaten record on the line. Like when Nassim Hamed was on the floor against Kevin Kelly, my heart was beating, and I was like, no, Naz, I was such a big fan. Like, I don't want him to get beat.
Yeah,
he can't lose. Like, he's got that unbeaten aura about him. And when he lost to Barrera, I was devastated. I was there that night. I flew out to Vegas, stayed in the Circus and my last $200. And like, it was like passion. So when I see somebody get in the ring and fight, there's got to be something at stake. What's at stake when AJ fights Tyson Fury? If somebody loses, are you bothered? Are you gutted about the guy that's lost? Are you excited for the guy that's won? When they're ring walking, are you like, oh, I wonder who's going to win this? Don't care. Oh, I don't care. And everybody I speak to who's a boxing purist, who's a boxing fan, they're not bothered about that fight. The same way the Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao fight was too late. I mean,
well, apparently it's happening again at 14,
exactly. Who cares?
Whatever they are, 46,
Who's bothered?
47.
Nobody's bothered. So no, if AJ fights Fury, commercially, it's massive. People are going to turn up for it. It might fill Wembley Stadium. Would I be at Wembley Stadium? No. I'll watch it at home, maybe, but he'll be there.
Commercially,
I'll be there,
commercially,
I
another
think it's
fight.
a good fight still. I mean, only because I wanted to see the fight. I've always wanted to see the fight, and yeah, it might be past its best, but for me, I go, still a fight that I'd want to see. It's an interesting fight, yeah.
Yeah, you want to get in the
Look,
ring,
commercially, a few more things we'll run through before we call it. Usyk against Fabio Wardley. Do you think it will happen? Because obviously the money needs to be there. Will Fabio bring in that money? Do you think it's something that will excite Usyk? And how do you think he would do, Fabio, against Usyk?
Do you want to answer that one, or do you want me to go?
Yeah, do you want to go first?
Well, Usyk, if Usyk's still fighting, which he evidently is, then he's the kind of guy that will defend against whoever. So I think Fabio's mandatory for this at the WBO, maybe. I don't see how he would be ranked at any of the... Mind you saying that? Is it a couple? It's WBA,
yeah.
So,
and he's just taken a WBO, so he's both, yeah.
So, like, he's put himself in a position where he's legitimately challenging the undisputed heavyweight king.
He's next in line, basically. Like,
yeah.
Otherwise, Usyk has to give up that
So
belt.
Usyk will fight him, because Usyk does. He fights anybody, which we've seen. So how do I think it will go? I think it's a mismatch. I think that Usyk is totally a different stratosphere to Fabio Wardley, but there's always a caveat. Usyk's getting old, Fabio Wardley can punch, and he really believes in himself. So that fight's interesting. I like it. I like the fight.
Do you think Fabio's now put himself... Because to me, he was a huge underdog going into the Parker fight, and what he showed us there was when things weren't going his way, and he had his moments in that fight. He's got, not just that he's got the equaliser, and Cole will recognise this more than anyone. You go like your Jermaine Taylor fight. When you look at that, you go... I said actually on the broadcast that it reminded me so much of Cole in many ways, where the guy didn't lose spirit and didn't lose heart, even though things weren't going his way. I go, and he's got that ability. And not many fighters have got that, by the way. Like, only special fighters can stick in there and go, not lose that hope. Because when you're getting beaten the way that you're getting beaten through rounds, a lot of fighters feel sorry for themselves. You had the ability not to do that, and that's why you come on strong in a lot of your fights in the late fight. He's got that, and that's a special ingredient. That
You do wonder where Fabio gets that from.
Yeah,
'cause I got that from losing a couple of amateur fights, boxing for England and letting myself down, trying to get behind my jab and nick a points decision and not going for it, and going back to my room and crying about losing an Olympic qualifier or getting a bronze medal when I should have got a silver or gold medal. And he's not had any of that.
No.
He's come from the white collar,
Yeah.
but when he's in there, so it's obviously just innate, it's in your heart. And Fabio Wardley has got that warrior spirit where I can say, listen, I know you're not a proper professional, which we've got to start calling him now, by the way.
Yeah.
He's got that mindset and that dedication and commitment and the desire and the self-belief, all them things where not all fighters tick them boxes. He's got all of them in abundance, so fair play to him.
What is that warrior spirit? Sorry, Charlotte, I just wanted to ask this one question, because this fascinates me. Because what is that? Because every fighter has a different pain threshold and where they're willing to go, and the dark place they're willing to go, because it is a dark place when you get into those penultimate rounds. Where does that come from?
I think a lot of it comes from your childhood and your upbringing.
Because you're prepared to go deeper and darker than most fighters. Like that's the special ingredient that he seems to have. And so it just fascinates me.
I think it comes from your upbringing. It comes from where you've come from. Right. A lot of it can be they reckon it can be hereditary and whatever, and it's in the genes and the genetics. But what's going on in the mind has to be from, like, we're a product of our programming. Whatever we've downloaded, whatever television we've watched, and whatever we've heard and what story we've heard, that's what we're a product of. So if you've been brought up, it's been quite rough and tough. A good example would be Gervonta Davis, who's not everyone's fan at the minute because he's up for a civil lawsuit. But Gervonta Davis grew up on the streets of Baltimore. Half of his friends are in prison, the other half are probably dead. And that's the kind of rough upbringing he had. And when he fought Ryan Garcia, who was a good-looking kid, been given and gifted everything really, he can fight, got fast hands, tough, strong, but he had a really privileged upbringing. And he's got millions of followers on Instagram and he's made lots of money before he had to actually fight and prove himself. And when he was in the ring with Gervonta Davis and he had a go early on, and Gervonta Davis was under the cosh getting caught with shots and he can punch like Ryan Garcia, Davis was like just tucking up, taking his licks, thinking, I'll get you in a minute, I'll get you, I'll stay in there. And he dug deep and he stayed with it for the early rounds. And then I don't even think it went that long, did it? Was it around 4 or 5?
I think it's like 7.
As soon as Ryan Garcia got caught with a body shot, and I love Ryan Garcia, he's a great fighter, fantastic. Got caught with a body shot, he went down, he thought, I've had a go, I've tried my best, and now he's hit a bit of adversity. Now it's got hard for him. Probably the first time in his whole life it's ever got hard for him. Where Gervonta Davis has probably been stabbed, and he's seen people die in front of him. He's been close to getting put in prison, he's been arrested. And he's in that ring, and it's like, okay, I'm getting punched and it hurts, but it's not that bad. It could be a lot worse. So as soon as it got tough for Ryan Garcia, he's on the floor, he's gave up. 9 seconds, gets up on 10, oh, I've been beat. And that's the difference. So that's the mindset, and that comes from your whole upbringing, as far as I'm concerned. That's my opinion.
We talk about that mindset and how important it is to fighters. Somebody who always comes under scrutiny for it is Daniel Dubois, that people think that he doesn't have the heart or he quits quite easily. What's your take on Daniel, and do you think that he can change that, or do you think that will limit him for what he can achieve, or do you think that that's just rubbish anyway? What's your take on Daniel having no heart?
You can only judge him on what he's done, and he appeared to quit against, was it Joe Joyce? But he had a fractured orbital eye socket.
Yeah.
But you don't know your eye socket's fractured when you're in the ring. He just felt like his eye was hurting and he couldn't see. So he thought, I'll stay down and I'll quit, which ended up being the right decision because he probably saved his face. But he still quit. Something that me, myself, would never do. But I'm not going to take that off anybody else who does quit, because I've asked the question a few times. I've been in lots of situations where I'm like, I need to stay down. I need to quit. And I'm not talking about, I've had that in the boxing ring a few times, but I'm talking about on the street or outside a pub when there's 2 or 3 of them and they're sticking the boot in and someone just puts something around the back of your head and you're thinking, it's time to stay down or get on my toes and run. And I don't stay down, I don't run, I stand there and fight. And most of the time I come out where I can still walk away from it and tell the story like I'm telling you now. And I just think that Daniel Dubois, when it comes on top and it gets tough, I don't think he's got it, unfortunately. And I think he's a great fighter, as in he's decent enough, he's got a good solid jab, he's got good balance for a big lump, he can punch really, really hard, massive puncher. But when the shit hits the fan, as they say, I don't think he's got it. I just don't think he has, unfortunately. But it's not to say that he can't get there because he's young enough. But every time he's been asked the question, I just think, why are you on your knees?
It's that
like,
mindset.
Why has that shot put you down? You chose to go down when that shot hit you.
But it's that mindset that we're talking about, isn't it? Like, because you go, every fighter's like, a gladiator, they're gladiatorial because they get in there and they do it. And you reach a certain level, you can't be, you're not a quitter because you got to a level, but it's that pain threshold of where you're willing to go. And when it starts becoming tough for him, it's just, he's one of those guys that just, if there's a switch in his brain, it goes, I'm done. Whereas people like yourself, you just go, like, you can watch it and sometimes you've even got to turn away from the telly and go, how's he getting through that? And then you turn it around.
I do, yeah.
And that's the difference.
Diego Corrales did it against Castillo.
He was that guy. Yeah.
There's fighters, Barrera and Eric Morales.
Yeah.
Like, if you go back over, look at
The 3
Riddick Bowe
fights.
and Evander Holyfield. 3 fights, I mean, they had 3 fights as well.
Yeah.
You can see it in the fighters that are in there, and they're not worried about getting hurt. They're not worried about dying. No one wants to go in the ring and die. But you've got to be able to say, I'm prepared to give my life to this game and this sport because I love it that much. Unfortunately, like I said earlier, Daniel Dubois is one of them that just hasn't quite got it where he needs it.
Look, I've got 2 more for you before I let you go. The rematch between Eubank and Conor Benn is coming up. You have a bit of a relationship now with Conor. What do you think he needs to change and do differently if he wants a different outcome this time around?
I think he needs to tidy his offensive work up a little bit. Just looking at the first fight in terms of technically, I think he's got the mindset that you need. He believes in himself, he's confident, he's super fit, he's strong, and he's young. He's younger than Eubank. And I just think that what I take from the first fight and then think, right, you got a rematch now. Let's have a look at where you went wrong in the first fight. All it was some technical tweaks, just some tidying up on the outside when he's jabbing and a lot of wasted movement, and maybe a little bit of just over-eager. And, he wanted, in his head, he wanted to knock out Chris Eubank Jr. and he was angry, and like me with George Groves in the first fight. And then when you like that and you're so eager to try and punch somebody's head in, you make mistakes and you go a little bit big and you over-exhaust yourself. So if you can tidy it up a little bit, and he will do automatically because he'll have learnt so much from them 12 rounds. I just think just a tiny tweak in his offensive sort of poise, that could be the difference between the win and lose if it goes to points. It just might catch Eubank because he can hurt him. And I think Eubank, being 30, is he 37?
36.
36. I mean, I was 36. I was a month away from my 37th birthday, and I was fit and strong, and I was a clean. I've always been a clean liver, so I was in good nick. But I still knew I was 36, 37. I still knew it was hard. I still felt it in the gym. The injuries. You see Chris Eubank, with his elbow straps on. He's struggling. He's not had that long amateur career. He's not had loads and loads of rounds. Like I had quite a long amateur career, but if Eubank Jr. slightly faded from that first fight, all Conor Benn needs to do is tidy his game up a little bit and maybe just land a couple of more heavy shots like the one that hurt Eubank in the first fight, and this could be a totally different fight.
I think the secret is whether he can control his emotions, because I think that's where it's won and lost. Like, he's an emotional kid, and I think sometimes, like, you know, in that first fight, he's just winging away because the emotions took over his game plan.
Yeah,
you know that when emotions take over your game plan, that's when shit hits the fan.
Well, he got erratic, didn't it, early on?
Yeah.
And he was overreaching, he was trying too hard, he was missing a lot of shots. He was doing a lot of this shimmy shake and ducking and diving on the outside, and Eubank just stood there looking at him. Must have been thinking, you're just burning all that energy and doing nothing. He needs to close the gap a little bit more and then start with his movement. But that's little technical tweaks which Tony Sims will be working on. Tony Sims knows the game, so he'll look at that and say, right, tidy this up. And he'll tidy it up in sparring. It's a good fight. It's another close fight. I'll save my prediction to Froch on fighting.
Do you know what? That was actually my final question, because you haven't dropped enough plugs on Froch on fighting. But with your YouTube channel, you're obviously very opinionated and you talk about current boxers all the time. Do you fall out with many of them? What's kind of the relationship like now, having these opinions and going online and saying something? And what would you say, or who would you say is the person that's taken most issue with the stuff that you say on your YouTube channel?
Well, I think the only difference with my channel and with myself, you say I've got opinions. I'm very opinionated. Everybody's got an opinion. We're all opinionated. We all have got something to say. Difference between me and Froch on Fighting, the best channel in the business, I'm prepared to say it. I'm prepared to put my neck on the line. And I'm talking from a place of experience. So people might say, who's Carl Froch? Especially some of the young lads. Who's Carl Froch? Let's have a look. Oh, he's a unified super middleweight champ, Hall of Famer.
80,000 at
He's
Wembley.
fought all of these, and his last fight was in front of 80,000 at Wembley. So I've got the substantiation to my claims, because I can back myself, and nobody can pull me apart from say, oh, Andre Ward beat her. Well, nobody beat Andre Ward. So that's not really that's not a dig, is it? So I'm prepared to put my cock on the block and say what I want to say, and not worry about who I offend, because whoever I offend, to answer your question, Anthony Joshua's been offended. I think Tyson Fury's been offended. A few people are. I'm prepared to say, well, let's have a conversation. Frank Warren got pissed off. Eddie Hearn's been a little bit pissed off. Let's talk about it. What have I said that's upset you? Right, okay, let's talk about it. And just have a conversation.
Do you talk about it, though?
Some people I meet face to face.
Who have you sat down with to discuss your opinions?
Well, I've spoke to Frank Warren quickly before someone got the phone out and started recording it, and we had a little chat. Have
you seen Eddie
Who else
yet?
have I spoke to? I spoke to Eddie a few times, yeah. Eddie's all right.
Has he paid you up?
There's no.
Is he
There's
paid you up?
no. He's always talking about money, and
It's another conversation.
Fast,
Yeah. It's another,
but anybody who's got any problems with me, they can give me a call or meet me. There's nothing that I've said really that's going to really over-offend anybody that can't be resolved. I'm not going out there just to pick on people and talking shit about people. I'm just giving my honest opinion, and if you don't like it, you know where I am. I mean,
do you think
I can't
boxers
say
are
further
too
than that.
sensitive now, though?
I mean, boxers don't like to hear that maybe they're past the best, or maybe they should retire, or maybe they got El Sparcode in round 4 and like it's the end of the career, or the chin's a bit dodgy, or you know they need to work on certain things. But I don't think I've been that. I don't think I've been that harsh.
But I think that boxers of today are much more sensitive than boxers of yesterday, because we have an opinion as ex-fighters. You're allowed to have that opinion because you're saying who's won. It's not a personal attack. You're just saying, yeah, I think he wins because he's doing this or whatever, or he might have deteriorated a little bit. And boxers of today are definitely more sensitive than what they were of yesteryear. That is facts.
I think as well social media adds to that, though. The fact that
Massively.
like fans just come on and they can just hound a boxer and they see it all, whereas back in the day, it was like the newspaper journalist would write something, but then that was it.
Yeah,
whereas
there
now...
was little bits on Twitter when I was fighting it then in my career. Twitter was quite big then. You know, obviously, there's now X. But I used to go to the shop on a Sunday to buy the Sun or buy the Mirror and have a look at the report and see what Jeff Powell or Colin Hart's wrote about me. Do you know what I mean? The Mail Jeff Powell was. And you know all the Gareth A. Davis, the Telegraph. I like Gareth. But
Best friends.
you'd go to the shop to get the paper to read the opinion. Now you fight, and before you've even got to your changing rooms, everybody's either wrote you off or give you a load of credit. So it's harder now for fighters because they're under the microscope and they get everybody's opinion. And if something goes wrong or they do something wrong, you get called out, don't you, straight away. So it is harder.
Do you think you were underappreciated?
Probably because I didn't get the television early on in my career. When I boxed Jean Pascal, that was on ITV. But then my very first defence was against Jermaine Taylor in America against the former undisputed middleweight champ.
Great fight.
And it wasn't aired until like Sunday morning on I don't know if it was BBC or ITV, and there was adverts between the rounds. So because I didn't get the sort of the coverage that I needed to be a star, I did slip under the radar. Then I signed a tournament called the Super 6 World Boxing Classic, which was televised largely on Showtime in America. So then I had like 2 years away from the British. Then I came back after that, lost to Andre Ward, jumped in there with Lucien Butte, back on Sky Sports. And that's when I sort of then took it to the next level.
I think I sort of disagree really. I think everyone loves the Froch and what
they do, but when you think about
but
think about Prince Nassim Hamid in his prime winning titles. And, I mean,
but he was very like flamboyant and out
but he was
there,
on
wasn't
Sky
he?
all the time. Ricky Hatton, Joe Calzaghe. I mean, Joe Calzaghe had defences against fucking goat herders. I mean, he had 15 defences, didn't he, for his WBO title. Frank Warren did a great job with him for so long. And then eventually he came good because he beat Michael Kessler, and then at the end of his career he fought Roy Jones and he fought Hopkins. But for years and years, he never got the credit.
You chased that fight.
I didn't chase it. No, the WBC governing body that made me mandatory for his belt, they chased it. I sat back and chilled.
Why do you think he didn't take it?
I tell you have to ask him why he didn't want to fight the Cobra.
How would that have played out?
I would have either lost on points or I'd have won by knockout. I don't think I could beat Joe Calzaghe on points. Really tough, fast hands, high work rate, super fit. How'd you beat him on points?
Great fight.
So I'd have to knock him out. We'll never know.
I know, one of those ones we never got to see.
Imagine that coming at you for 12 rounds, like, not losing any spirit, any heart. Like, it's, honestly, trust me, as a fighter, it's like that's a nightmare. Yeah.
Looking across the corner, just knowing
Joe
that
Calzaghe didn't fancy it then, and he don't fancy it now, does he?
That's another great fight.
It was offered good money.
What?
Would you
to do it? I did not see something with Turkey. Yeah, I saw that actually.
He agreed the number.
Yeah.
He agreed the fight. Calzaghe said, "Yeah, I'll have some of that."
What, you and Joe?
Yeah.
I saw
Turkey,
it.
Yeah, offered him big bunts.
What's
proper,
big? What's
Bunsen burner?
What's big money?
I reckon it was 10 mil. So he went home, thought about it, come back, phoned Turkey, and said, "No, I can't do it."
Did you say yes? Did you agree?
I never got to that point. I was out of the equation because he'd already agreed then no one was going to contact me. But I interviewed Turkey on the best channel in the business, Froch on Fighting, and he revealed it. He revealed that he offered Calzaghe good money.
He loves doing that, doesn't he? He reveals everything.
He took the fight and then he phoned up. But to be honest, Calzaghe's 52.
Yeah.
He probably has a drink, he's relaxed, he's got really bad hands, he's not in the gym. He's probably thought, fuck that, and I don't blame him. You know what I mean? But we could have an exhibition. You know what I mean? Could have a little move around. People would love it. They'd love the weigh-in. They'd love the press conference. I'd get in his face because, you know, he said a few bits of shit about me. But I've said a bit about him. I reckon it'd be good.
That's one of those classics, though, isn't it? Like, he could probably earn, now in today's world, as much money in that fight as he did for his whole career.
Potentially, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's where you were talking earlier about this crossover fight.
Yeah, of course.
That's where it's ridiculous, but lucrative, and why not?
Okay, so Turkey was interested in getting you and Joe. Joe said no. But that means Turkey would still be interested in getting you out.
Potentially, yeah.
If it's not one of these fantasy kind of ridiculous fights with Jake Paul and it's not a Joe Calzaghe, who would be next in the pecking order for you if you were going to come back and Turkey was going to put on a big show? Who would you want?
Let's see how Andrew Tate looks in his next fight.
Cobra versus
Nice.
Cobra.
That's it. Done.
Feels good, doesn't it?
We're done.
Yeah.
Feels right,
that.
doesn't it?
I love it.
It's a big lump though. Can he fight? Is he any good? Let me know.
I think he's useful with his
Be
legs,
honest.
but
Yeah, but it's kickboxing.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he'll be all right, mate. I
Well,
fancy
look-
the Cobra.
Do I look worried?
No,
Which one?
I'll back the Cobra, mate.
I'm looking forward to watching him fight and see what he's got. Like I said, I've got nothing
Let's
bad
get
to
you
say
ringside and then
about
do a
Andrew Tate.
face-off afterwards. How about
That
that?
could be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
There we
turn
go.
up.
Well, look, Carl,
November 20th, I think, Dubai. No, December 20th.
December, yeah.
December 20th.
Just before
Dubai.
Christmas. Little Christmas treat for everyone.
Yeah.
Cobra versus Cobra.
Yeah. Let's wait and see, eh?
Yeah. Thank you for joining us on Clubhouse Boxing. Really enjoyed chatting to you.
Pleasure.